Alright, so here's the situation. In a video I made almost exactly a year ago, I
was very conservative of my fuel because I was like, oh, is this gonna be enough to get back to Kerbin? And then I realized, okay, this probably isn't gonna do. I'm just gonna go full-blown coolness and land without caring about my Delta V.
Yeah, that decision ended up leaving Jebediah, Bill, and Bob stranded with 313 meters per second of Delta V remaining on the Mun. Which is a horrible situation because that is not enough Delta V to get back to Kerbin. And they've been stuck here for the past 2 years while I've been launching space stations, elaborate things, and they've just been sitting here doing nothing. So I'm going to have to rescue these guys because I need Jebediah's piloting skills, Bill's engineering skills, and Bob's science skills because none of them have the same amount of skills as these three have. So we're going to have to craft a rescue mission that's also going to take about a day. So yeah, Jeb, Bill, and Bob will be stranded here for only a few more days, hopefully. Alright, let's get building. Alright, so we're on the launch pad with Chad Shree-Kerman from the Atlanta spaceplane video. And we're going to launch this straight to the Mun and back. Let's get the engine started and it's fired up. By the way, in this video you're going to see that the electric charge of the craft is not going down. And that is because of the alternator on the Mammoth engine, the Skipper engine, not on the Terriers though. I have an RTG clipped into the craft that's doing that. And I also have a huge amount of batteries clipped into it, but I didn't want to show that in the build because I want to make it a bit more snappy, experiencing with a new style of editing like that Sandiction does. If you guys don't know who Sandiction is, I've probably lost 5% of my viewers now because they don't get the reference, and I've lost another 5% because they do get the reference. Alright, so this is a standard orbital injection with that nice shot. Yeah, if you want to know how to get into orbit, I do have an orbit tutorial which is up here, and it will explain how to get into orbit, but for your first orbital mission, I suggest you don't use this as a tutorial because I'm going to be flying this mission very inefficiently. Even though I'm pretty sure I had almost the exact amount of Delta V needed to get to the Mun in this case, Lunar. It's just get mixed up, you know, when you're into space and then you're also into Kerbal and all that stuff. Yeah. The first stage, it gets us most of the way into orbit. It gets us into space. This is basically an SLS with a weird upper stage and a weird fang. By the way, if you want to see me recreate an SLS, I have the Artemis 1 recreation video right here. And that is still my most popular video with over 7,000 views. So I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, this is us doing our orbital insertion burn. Do not trust the burn time indicator. I was very foolish in trusting that thing for my correct orbital insertion and ended up wasting a bit of fuel, making the apoapsis way too high for an efficient encounter with Mun. Because remember, the Oberth effect tells us that for the most efficient burns, you have to burn at periapsis, but I end up having to do the burn around midway between periapsis and apoapsis, and since the apoapsis is very high, it's incredibly inefficient. Again, don't use this video as a tutorial. This is a rescue mission just so I can fill up my roster again. And yeah, the electric charge is still not running out. I was wondering, why is that? I thought I had infinite electricity on, but turns out the alternator on the Skipper engine is just bonkers. And boom, we're on a course to the Mun. we're crafting our orbital insertion around the Mun right now, and I don't want too high of an apoapsis or a periapsis because we will spin much slower up there rather than if we were like right next to the surface, which is practically impossible because the moon, or the Mun, has a lot of craters. So yeah, so we're going to be doing our orbital insertion, but I was careful not to mess this up because the last video, in the sea launch rocket video again, I warped way too fast and ended up having to skip an orbit and get another Mun encounter, which wasted a lot of Delta V. Okay, we're gonna quick save before landing on Mun for Jeb attempt 1. Yeah, very descriptive name. There were actually 3 attempts to do this. I'm just going to show you the 3rd attempt. We're just gonna fast forward the landing here. This is the 2nd attempt because I thought it was kind of funny that I missed. And yeah, this was just a non-starter. So I couldn't do that. So I had to reload the quick save and then try again. This is basically trial and error here. I thought the 2nd attempt was way funnier than the 1st attempt because the 1st attempt I just ran out of fuel. Apparently, I flew it very inefficiently. I tried landing, it's not enough. We're not gonna have enough fuel, and we're definitely going way too fast if we just keep doing that. So let's just go to the 3rd attempt where I actually did land, and I'm going to transfer all these Kerbals back into the lander, which is quite a mundane process if you ask me. Like, I think I wasn't listening to anything, but my god, the boringness is just bottom tier. So yeah, this is my 3rd attempt of also trying to get Jeb, Bill, and Bob over, because the first time I did it, Jeb knocked into the reaction wheel, and somehow that literally severed the connection between the lander and the cupola module, which is not great. So yeah, we're gonna board with Jeb, get Bob out because Bob is a bit more important than Bill, and Jeb is more important than Bob. Sorry, Bill fans, or I mean, don't blame me. It was Billy Wynn Jr. who said that to leave Bill Kerman on the Mun. But I did it because I am an honest space program runner. Can't be said for some of my other Kerbals, which I've left stranded in orbit for way longer than these 3 here on my Skylab, which is quite old now. It was like the 2nd video I uploaded to this channel, and don't go watch that video. It's just so terrible. You know what? Let me just not even add the link in the description or a card, even though, oh yeah, if I just add it, people are gonna be, oh yeah, you want more views on your old videos. No, I'm not going to add that because it is just so bad, such low quality. Don't look at it. I think my newer videos are a bit better, like at least a bit better than my older videos. And I'm careful not to bump Bob into that reaction wheel because the last time I did that, yeah, it blew off. Finally, we got Bill. I'm just going to leave that flag and lander stranded there as to show that Matt Lown will never reply even if you ask him to rescue you live on YouTube, even if you have a lot of subscribers. I mean, I don't consider myself to be like a popular YouTuber. I have like 354 subscribers, get a few 100,000 views there, you know. Yeah, this channel actually has a total of 23,000 views, which is quite bonkers if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm just getting bored at this point, just keep transferring Kerbals. This was like the 3rd time, and then right after this mission, I had to go outside because if you didn't hear in my last video, when I asked ChatGPT to create a fighter jet in KSP, which is up here, which is doing quite well actually. The video is doing quite well, amassing a lot of views. I mentioned in that video that I am planning to move and go on vacation this summer, and I had to, right after filming this mission, I had to go and check out one of the house candidates. Turns out almost none of them were acceptable, so just a waste of time there. But yeah, we're just going to get into Mun orbit now, and I realized I launched into the wrong direction. I am launching completely the wrong direction. I am launching against the Mun's rotation meaning that it's going to be very inefficient to do a burn like this. But hey, we got Delta V to burn here. This is a sandbox save, no one cares. And yeah, at this point I thought, is this Delta V enough to get back to Kerbin? I was like, am I going to have to send the rescue mission to the rescue mission and delay this video even more? No, apparently you only need like 400 meters per second to get off from Kerbin and back into the sphere of influence of Kerbin and land there. And we ended up with around the same amount of Delta V I had when I landed on the Mun the first time, which was quite interesting. Maybe if I had flown the lunar ascent on the sea launch video a bit more efficiently, then maybe I could have or should have been able to get back. And yeah, we're going to be re-entering on the dark side of Kerbin, which is really sad because you can't see anything. You can't see nothing. And with YouTube's compression algorithm, I'm going to have to make this footage even more saturated and all that, and vibrant, make it look better to counter YouTube's compression algorithm. But yeah, I realized I was coming in way too fast, so I used the Terriers to burn a bit more fuel. And you might be wondering, why is there a decoupler on the staging menu? If you caught this in the build timeouts, I was originally going to decouple the lander, but the second time I landed far away from the actual lander, I accidentally clicked spacebar, and then it ended up blowing up the entire thing. So I thought if I did this here, it would probably do the same thing. So I just decided to keep it, though it does make re-entry a bit unstable, meaning that the Terriers will almost overheat. The capsule, see, yeah, perfect timing there. It's going to flip over like this, but it's fine. Kerbals, they're Kerbals. Chatri and Jeb having no problem standing the G-forces. Bob, on the other hand, is getting a little dizzy. I mean, who could blame him? We're 10,000 meters above the water right now, and this is a good place to deploy the parachutes. I thought we were coming in way too fast, so I decided to make the parachutes deploy at 5,000 meters, which is very, very high if you ask me. Like, yeah, and see those huge G-forces when those two parachutes deploy. I did that for the other one and the other one as well. And yeah, we're coming in for quite a soft landing. Yeah. I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and hey, if you want me to rescue some of your Kerbals, because I bet Matland's not going to do KSP1 Blunderbirds anymore, then you could put that in the comment section below. And hey, while you're down there, if you're enjoying the video, remember to click like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because that helps me stay above in the algorithm and the entire entertainment industry. So yeah, just a like or a view really helps. So yeah. As you can see, I'm still making KSP1 content instead of KSP2 because I still don't need KSP2. I'm still kind of just chilling because I have a Mac Mini and God, Windows sucks. Mac and Windows, they both suck, but apparently Private Division chose Windows as the better operating system. And for some reason, the electric charge is gone from the Kupla and command module, but it's fine. I have batteries clipped into this thing anyway. There's just no chance of losing electric charge. And it doesn't matter if we lose the electric charge at this point because we already have our parachutes deployed. Yeah, we're coming in at around 7 meters per second. Those landing gear can stand up to 12 meters per second. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. I basically pumped up the spring and damper strength so that it would cushion the landing as much as possible, because take a lot of safety precautions, because this mission took me about an hour to film and edit. Well, editing was done over 2 days because I finished recording at around 4 p.m. and I had to go outside and came back at 8 p.m. Finished editing halfway at 10 p.m. and now today, on Sunday, May 21st, which is not the day I'm wishing to get this video out because I still have another video that's doing quite well, so yeah. So yeah, we're only 100 meters into ground, meaning this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, remember to click the like and subscribe button, and if you want to support me in another way, you can support me on the Patreon, link in the description and the pinned comment down below, and we're going to warp to sunrise to get a nice shot. Thanks everyone for watching. I have been Andrew the Astronaut. Signing off. I'll see you next time.